born in 1980, Marietta, Georgia. The first memory I have of television is the MTV, like the rocket that would shoot up in the sky, like that commercial. Like that's the first thing I remember about television. So I had both my parents growing up. My mother and my father had been married forever. I grew up with music in my life. I played music in church and played a lot of different instruments and sang, and I danced a lot when I was younger. So got a lot of really cool culture growing up through that. So I'm a creative, which is cool because being a creative and a cybersecurity engineer gives me an advantage because I think outside the box like all the time. That's where I live. My introduction to computers was really cool. My mom had computers in the house growing up all the time. I remember the first games I used to play was like Oregon Trail and Zork and the Jungle Book. I remember those games. Had an Apple IIe computer. That was my first computer. My mom was impressed with how I was able to change the fonts and change the colors and do all this stuff on the computer. So she's like, okay, I think he's got a knack. My mom was really good at seeing that I had a knack for things. So she'd put stuff in front of me, and if I was good, she would invest even more into it. So we ended up getting a compact Presario 954. And she told me I couldn't touch it until I read the MS-DOS 6.22 book. It's like this thick. So I was like, man, this is great. I already love doing it. Might as well just do it for a living. So at 12 years old, I decided that's going to be my career. Fast forward to 2001, I enlisted into the Air Force. And my 5th week of basic training, September 11th, happened. So the buses came to get us. The TIs were like, right now, we got to go. The nation's under attack. And we're like, what? What are you talking about? So the buses come and they're kicking up dirt coming to get us, and they're skidding all over the place. So we get our gear and we get in the bus and we start heading back to Lackland Air Force Base. And while we're driving back, the radio feed is live for what's happening. So both planes had already hit the towers, and the towers are starting to fall as we're on our way back to Lackland. So we're hearing it happen. I ended up going to Saudi Arabia for the shock and awe campaign. I didn't know what that was at first. We didn't know why we were going to Saudi. I managed the world's largest mobile power plant that powered the airfield that all the jets took off to go bomb Baghdad. Also met my wife in the Air Force. My parents met in the Air Force. They both met at Eglin Air Force Base in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And it just so happens that's where I met mine. My wife and I got married on 18 June 2004, and she left for Korea for a 1-year unaccompanied tour, July 4th, that same year. So right after we got married, she left. She was gone. I am proud that we were able to get through her whole military career still married. For a lot of people that are in our situation, married couples in the military, like the divorce rate's really high, disproportionately high. And it's because it's tough when you're significant others away and you got to handle stuff. Like it's hard. There's a lot of challenges, but we made it through. So now we get to kind of celebrate that victory together. And so now we can be a family again, not have to worry about deployments and all that. So we'll be here in Colorado Springs for a while. My mom. So she's the one that made sure that I was well-versed and comfortable being in spaces where I am overwhelmingly outnumbered by people that don't look like me. If I find myself in a room full of white people, I know that's the room I need to be in because I'm about to have to be that bridge. And it's tough being in that position, but if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? As I walk into these rooms, I'm the only Black person in there. So if somebody had been there before, they gave up, they quit, they left. For whatever reason, they didn't stay. So my Rotary experience here in Colorado Springs was like that. When I came in 4 years ago, I was the only Black person in there. And if I had left, because of that, I wouldn't be president of it right now. First Black president they had. So I'm very, very proud of that accomplishment. The blessings that I have, like they didn't come free. Somebody had to sacrifice in order for me to have the advantages that I have, especially when it comes to my ancestors. They made a lot of sacrifices and a lot of people died and, endured terrorism here in the United States just so I could be able to be here doing this Zoom call with you right now. You can make change by yourself. That is possible. One person can make an incredible change, but if you can find a group of like-minded individuals to help you make that change, then you'll push the needle further and faster. It's all about how many people I can help. can I inspire other people to get up and do stuff too, and to believe that they can make a huge exponential impact on their community?